talked about being overweight, right? I talked about how I'm starting to look like Nicki Minaj or Bernice Burgos.
The Bamboo Project Podcast starts in 3, 2.
Welcome to the Bamboo Project Podcast. The people with the most freedom in this world have money and lots of it. So I decided I'm going to become a billionaire, and on the way there, I'm going to help create 1,000 millionaires, including myself. And not by being a guru or selling a course, but by doing the things I already love to do every day and documenting the journey to get there. I figure I'll make all the mistakes so you don't have to. My name is Donivan Gray, and this is how I will turn my life into a living. I'd like to start off by giving a shout out to all the people rocking with us and subscribe to the channel. We really appreciate you. We are currently streaming on all major streaming platforms such as Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Anchor, you name it, we on it. And if we not on it, we about to be on it. For everyone listening to this podcast and not watching it, you can find us on YouTube at The Bamboo Project. We have over 380 videos on our channel. You want to learn real estate? We got that. You want cooking tutorials inspired by Dr. Sebi? We got that. You want travel and lifestyle vlogs? Got it. You want makeup and hair growth tutorials? Got it. Basketball? Got it. It's everything us. All the parts of the journey that don't make it to YouTube will be on our story. And you can find me on Instagram at Donivan Gray, DONIVANGRAY, and my phenomenal, beautiful, amazing girlfriend, Anita Byrne, ANETABURN. We made different playlists for all the things we're into, and you can find the links for that in the description below. This may be your first time here, and if it is, welcome to the family. But for everyone else, this is chapter 2, page 85. This podcast has 4 different segments. We have the life update, episode playback, Donovan's questions, and the topic of the day. All video and audio timestamps will be in the description box below. Today's date is November 2nd, and it is 7:34 p.m. Yes, p.m. It's super late. This is the latest we've done a podcast in a very long time. I'll explain that in a little bit. We like to start off with the screen time addiction, so we know how much we spent on our phone. Last week, I know I did very well, but I know this week I probably did terribly. Like, I'm pretty sure it was awful. My theory is I probably went through withdrawal. I feel like it has something to do with that. Like, I feel like I just went crazy as far as my screen time. But let's pull up and see what the actual numbers are. For last week was 7 hours and 24 minutes. That was my average screen time for last week. Okay. So just for you guys who, didn't hear last week's podcast, that means I've spent 2 hours more per day on my phone all of last week. Now let's see what I spent most of my time on. Most of my time last week was spent on Instagram. So for the whole week, I spent about 10 hours on Instagram on my phone. 10 hours and 19 minutes for the whole week. The highest day for me was Tuesday, which was pretty much 10 hours on my phone. It's crazy. My lowest day was Sunday, which was 5 hours and 54 minutes. So let's see, 65 pickups. Oh, that's just on Sunday. How do I go back to the whole week? Okay. For the whole week, my average pickup was 93, which is, I feel like that's pretty good. That's low. But when I picked up my phone, I stayed on it. That's what it seems like. And where is it? Oh, first used after pickup was Instagram, 96 times. Yeah. So 14 times per day I will go on Instagram. So your turn, Melissa. How was your screen time last week?
Last week my screen time was 4 hours and 37 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So it's better than last week. My most used app was TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
It was 6 hours and 56 minutes. Second most used app was Instagram for 3 hours and 21 minutes. And my third most used app is a new game that I downloaded called Bingo Blitz.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I need to sponsor me. For 2 hours and 14 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And, my pickups, most pickups was 175 on Thursday. My average pickups is 119, and the first app I use after my pickup is Gmail.
Okay. Can you click on that one and see how many times per day did you go on that one?
On Gmail?
Yeah, if you go to where it says first time after pickup and you click on it.
Yeah, 16 times per day.
Okay. So, like I said, mine was 7 hours. That's pretty high. Yeah, I'm gonna have to work on that. Yeah, I don't know. I honestly don't have a reason. That felt like
I'm not home. You could use your phone.
You were home? You weren't home last week?
I went to work.
How many days?
Like 1 day. But I was gone for like 9 hours.
Yeah, no, Melissa, that's not. You was gone for 1 day, and you trying to tell me the whole week went up because you was gone for 1 day? Yeah. No. Now, where was I? Okay, so as you guys have seen in the title of this video, we had a warning about this when we first bought the house in Philadelphia, right? We didn't really believe it. We never actually flipped a house before. We didn't really know what to expect when renovating a house, but we thought it was very odd that our contractor said to us, yeah, man, we have to get some locks for these doors because people tend to steal around here. And I was thinking, steal? There was nothing here. What are they going to steal? The house is being renovated. There's nothing in here. And he was saying they will steal the copper pipes. And I'm like, they gonna steal pipes? I'm like, who breaks into a house that's dilapidated to steal pipes? Like, that's crazy. So I'm like, all right, I mean, I guess, we look out for it. Anybody running around without pipes. Like, sure. So we kind of brushed it off as just, something that people say that happens, but we didn't actually expect it to happen to us. So as you know, in the life of the Bamboo Project, these are things that we experience on a regular basis. It never ceases to amaze me how many things we run into. I think it's kind of funny, right? I feel like our life would be the example of all the things somebody goes, watch out for this. And we hit all of those things. Like, they go, yo, watch out for your house getting robbed. We hit that. They go, you know what? You should probably have a lawyer read your contract. Run into that. They go, you know what you guys should do? You probably should try wholesaling in your state. Don't do that. Fuck the whole thing up, right? Like I said, from what you start out with to the end, I feel like for us, we run into all of the potholes on that path there, right? So yesterday, I get a call from my contractor, and I'm like, it's late at night, so I'm just like, okay, he doesn't really call me at night, and I'm just kind of like, what's going on, man? He's like, yeah, man, I gotta talk to you. I'm like, you gotta talk to me about what? Like, what is there to talk about at like 8-9 o'clock? He's like, oh yeah, it's not really a big deal. I'm like, did something break? Did y'all find an issue in the house that we're gonna have to renovate? And we have to spend more money because we already $50,000 over budget. That number, because it's happened and we're kind of just going with everything, I forget how big that number is. But that's a year's salary. Like, we are over budget on a renovation that should take 4 months. That the cost of somebody's yearly salary, right? $50,000 over budget. So we don't have a job, let alone a money to pay for somebody else $50,000. So I'm just on the phone like, okay, what else happened? Because if y'all don't know, we've already run into a situation where we had to have the whole back wall of our house removed because the person before us decided that they want to just add on structures to the house that don't have permits, that are illegal. So we had to remove all of that because it was actually a hazard for us to have on the property. I believe we ran into something else too. Actually, there was 2 structures that had to be removed from the back wall. Either way, all I'm saying is we run into issues with this house that cost more money, as well as having to do all new electrical, all new plumbing, and all new HVAC, which would be heating and AC. We had planned to just repair it. We had to replace everything. So I'm like, bro, what's going on? He says, yeah, man. So we accidentally, I thought I thought I boarded up all the windows. You know, I made sure that I put the windows on the front. I made sure that the back was closed off. You know, the roof is sealed. So, you know, so that nobody breaks into the house. I'm like, okay, what does that mean? Like, the fact that you're saying you did all these things means that they didn't work. So what exactly happened? He's like, yeah, so you know how the basement has these two little windows on the main street level? I'm like, yeah. He's like, yeah, well, I didn't actually board those up. I had planned to. I was going to. I didn't think it was going to be an issue. So, because he did not board these two little windows up, I'll put a picture of these windows here. Somebody decided to slide in through these two little windows and steal our water heater for the house, right? So, my whole thing was, who's stealing water heaters? Like, who's breaking into places and stealing water heaters? He told us they was going to steal copper pipes, and we don't even have those because all the plumbing got ripped out. So what are you breaking our house? There's nothing. Our house is empty. Go next door. There are all these houses on the block that be renovated, and you stole from our house who has nothing in it, right? But again, this is the life of the Bamboo Project. What would it be without all the pitfalls that come with doing anything? So I'm like, what do you mean they stole the water heater? Like, what? He's like, yeah, man. So we came back and it was gone. I'm like, they pulled it out that little tiny hole. You can't fit a water heater through that thing. Is big as hell. You can't fit that through that little hole. He's like, yeah, I'm pretty sure they went up the stairs, unlocked the door, and had somebody else coming with them. Because here's the other thing too. I don't think that one person could carry a water heater, right? And now that I think about it too, I don't even believe that a person is carrying a water heater in their bare hands down the street. So that leads me to believe they had a car. Now, people are driving around at night looking for boarded up houses to steal water heaters. So now the water heater is stolen. So we're on the phone. He's telling me about this whole situation, how he thinks it went down. And I'm like, bro, you got to be kidding me. He said they stole some other stuff. I'm like, they stole more than a water heater? He's like, yeah, you know, we had some lumber lying around and they stole some of that lumber. I'm like, bro. Now, if y'all don't know, because people probably are not doing real estate right now who are listening to this, lumber is like gold. Okay, people were hoarding lumber over like the last year or so because the prices were skyrocketing. People were buying it as if it was an asset to hold and accumulate wealth, because the price of lumber was like quadrupling, or I think even multiplied by like 7. It was crazy. People are sitting on whole mounds of lumber because they like, damn, you know, each lumber I think was like, I guess it's like gold price. It was like $1,500 per. I don't know how do you measure lumber, like per 2x4, I guess. I don't know. $1,500 for that. So like I said, people are out here just hoarding it. So I'm like, how much lumber did they steal? He didn't even give me an amount. He said they just stole some lumber. So I'm hoping that it wasn't a lot of lumber, but at the end of the day, that's going to cost us more money because we are paying for this lumber, and that's what we use to put up the framing for the house. That's what we use to build the back wall. That's what we use to keep the ceiling from caving in, which would be like foundational, structural type of things like that. So now we have to find a way to mitigate this situation. So we've been trying to figure out, okay, what's the best way to go about stopping somebody from breaking into our house and stealing? He says that one obviously would be to board up that hole or that window so nobody breaks in through there. But I'm just thinking, what kind of person would have stole those things from the house? A couple options, right? One of the solutions is put a little board on that window. So like I said before, I'm trying to figure out who is walking around stealing these things. If y'all don't know, there are people in Philadelphia. If you go on YouTube, it's actually a crazy situation. Go on YouTube, right? Put in Philadelphia and put in Kensington. Right, it looks crazy. You would think that you were watching a movie from I don't even know if I would say the 80s. You would think you were watching a movie. Like, you would not think this is real. Every stereotype somebody would have of a drug addict, a crackhead, a heroin addict, they're in the video. This is real life. There's a person driving around Philadelphia recording what is there. So I'm like, did they come and steal the water heater? Like, I couldn't see them walking down the street being like, okay, this person is doing renovations. They probably have some valuables in there. Let's break in, open the front door, go downstairs, carry the water heater up to the first floor and carry it out. Also, bro, don't forget the lumber. We might need that too. Like, you would have to know that lumber prices are going up. And forgive me if I'm being rude, but I don't think a heroin and a crackhead know what the lumber prices are. I don't think they're going on Google going like, oh man, these prices are inflated this week. You should probably try and steal some. I don't think that's what's happening. So somebody else, I think, stole the lumber. So another option you have could be someone who's a functioning drug addict. Maybe they only drug addict in the mornings or during the afternoon, maybe late at night. But whenever they're not being a drug addict, they're stealing from us. So they come, they see our property, go, okay, I do some work. I've seen some articles saying that lumber prices going up. I'm pretty sure I could, steal some copper pipe, sell it for some drugs. Now, I don't know, this whole drug thing is crazy to me. Who do you even sell copper pipes to? Do you go to the guy that's selling drugs and say, bro, I got copper pipes. Can you take this instead of my drugs? Or do you, as a crackhead, go to a person to melt down the copper and go, oh, bro, how much can I get for this? And then you go back and buy the drugs. I don't know. That's option 2. Option number 3 is this. Another person who is into construction was driving by and said, maybe if we rob them, we can save some money. Now, here's the thing about the water heater, right? It's not new. It's old. So in my opinion, I don't even think it works. But I don't know if it works or not. In all honesty, it might work because somebody was living in this house within the last year or two, right? So it might function under certain circumstances. I don't know what those exact circumstances are, but it might function under those. So possibly somebody might have use for it to actually use, or just ridiculous, they're like, let's just take it and scrap it for the metal on it and just keep that. Now, that would be less likely, I believe, for a person who actually does construction, but maybe they were like, let's save some money and put this in a house. I don't know what was going on. All I know is they decided to steal it from our house, some lumber and some damn water heater. So he was recommended to me that we get some insurance for this. He was like, yeah, man, you should go and try and get some insurance for things that get stolen. Now, you got to look at it like this, right? I wonder, is there a possibility that he's in on us getting robbed? And he's like, maybe if I tell him to get insurance, I could just steal more stuff. And boom, now they have money coming in for the insurance. And I asked him, how often does this happen? Like, what's the worst experience you've seen with somebody stealing? He said, yeah, one time they burned the whole house down. I'm like, they burned the whole house down? He was like, yeah, but honestly, that's the best case. I'm like, what? I'm like, listen, bro, I hear you. I know you believe that. But as me, a young man trying to make a way in this world, if somebody burned down my first renovation, I don't know how I would feel about that personally. Because there's two things, right? The plan is to make money from this house. So, yeah, I might get the money back and pay off the loan for the house. But I don't have no money now. So I don't really know if that's the best possible option, but he said that would be the best thing. So we're going to look into getting some insurance. I think we already have some because I was pretty sure that the lenders made us get it when we bought the house. So I'm like 95% sure we already have insurance. So I'm looking into that. Hopefully we don't get robbed anymore going forward. Actually, the reason why this podcast is going up or being recorded at damn near 8 o'clock at night is because we went to the house today. Y'all know I'm trying to pull off one of the greatest finesses of all time in terms of money. And I'm right now at the final boss, the final stage. Everything has been going according to plan up until now. So I've already called the lenders. I've already sent them the bank statements. I've already capitalized the business. I've already paid off half of the amount that I owed on the loan that I bought, which is like $10,000. That allows me to then go back and renew the loan and get a bigger loan. So now they said that I am eligible for renewal, which is amazing. But now we have to see how much will they give me on the renewal. That is the only thing that matters, is how much will we get on the renewal. Having these conversations, right? I learned the play when it comes to these lenders. So what they do is they will lend you a percentage of your deposits for that month. So let's say that you made $10,000. They have a formula, and let's say it goes 85%. So they will give you $8,500, right? Boom. And then you have the little fees and whatnot. Also, I talked to them yesterday, and he said that if you have a NSF on your account, that can actually negatively affect you, and you might not even be eligible for a new loan. An NSF is a non-sufficient fee, right? So if your account goes into a negative, that's bad, which I think is odd, because even if you're making a lot of money, you having a negative day on your account, on your bank statement, is not a good look for you. So I learned those two things because I was trying to figure out, how do I finesse this system? And I'm like, why did we have so much money coming in, but we only got $10,000? Let me tell you right now, last month, our bank statements deposits say $45,000. That's what they say. So you have to remove things like online payments, as far as like Zelle and whatnot, and then the money they sent us. So we're looking at about $33,000 to $35,000 in terms of what the last bank statement said. And they have to do an average over the 3 months, and then they give you a percentage of that 3 months. So hopefully we can get over 20,000. That would be, if we get that call and they say, oh, you are approved for 20K, they fund you like same day. That means that money will be in that account that day. Bruh, when I tell you, I don't know what we gonna do. I don't know. She gonna be cold crazy. Either way, this is the last stage of the finesse. I'll find out tomorrow. They're supposed to call me back today. I didn't get a call back today. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. All I know is I did not get a call back. But I was sleeping. Let me check my phone. I don't think I got a call back. Yeah, ain't nobody called me back today. Yeah, I'm not surprised. So I'm gonna call him back tomorrow to figure that out. And so yeah, we went out to Philly, and the house is coming along. I told y'all we got hold by the lender. They did not give us the money for the draws. So because of that, I had to go out there. That was the main reason, to get pictures and footage to send to them so that we can get more money released to us to continue doing the renovation. So that is where we are with the house. They're going to be doing plumbing soon. So we're going to have plumbing in there. Everything is coming together. It's kind of small. A couple things I don't really like. A little thing here, a little thing there, but I think overall it is coming together. So I'm happy about that. So next thing on the life update would be videos. All right. We got them videos for you. All right. So I just put out, according to YouTube, a banger. It is a Turo video about how we chose our first video on Turo. I'll put that right here. And then we also, I'm recording. Somebody in the comments wanted me to do their city, so I already did DC, so Maryland, DC. Shout out to everybody subscribed in DC. And then I'm doing, after that, it's Columbus, Ohio. So I actually know some people from wholesaling in Columbus, Ohio, so they might actually see the video. Shout out to y'all. And then Emmanuel he's in Indiana? He's not in Ohio. And then we're also doing, somebody commented, I forgot his name. I think it was Mustafa. He's in Raleigh, South Carolina. So we're gonna do that video. So that's 3 videos right there. One's already done, and I finally finished the Philadelphia Airbnb vlog. So that podcast y'all know about. We had 3 Airbnbs, and they stole it from us. Okay, how the landlord just hoed us, scammed us, finessed us, whatever you want to call it. That video is 100% finished. All I have to do now is make the thumbnail for it. It's already uploaded to YouTube. I'm trying to figure out the best time to post it. I'm thinking, because like I said, we have 3 videos going up. So we have the DC videos done. That video is done, but this podcast goes up on Friday. So that'll be 3 videos in 1 week. Also, I got to get to the next 2 YouTube videos I want to make. So that's 5. Listen, I told y'all, videos is coming. We coming with that heat. And then Are you making any videos? Are you doing any videos anytime soon, or what's the deal with that?
I'm making videos.
Like making or editing? How are you?
Already editing. I'm backlogged on that.
Mm-hmm.
I have.
Bro.
When I made bags. I sold them at Donovan's friend's store in Brooklyn, Grand River Market. You guys should check it out.
Shout out to Graham, bro. Their Instagram got hacked, and the guy charged him. When he charged him $150 to get it back. Shit, crazy.
Reminds me of a Kanye lyric. He said he was fucking bitches on his laptop and his cousin.
Bruh.
Crazy. Anyways, is that video? It's like a ton of videos. This is a skincare video. Like, I don't know. Yeah, this is a skincare video because I used to hate my skin. I think this time last year I hated my skin 100%. And I had marks all over my body, my face, my arms, my back, my legs, everything.
Bro, there's a video for that. I'll put that video up here too. Y'all can see that video. See, I'll show you. Or I'll put a link. And I'll put the video in the thing.
My skin is like completely different now. So like, I haven't been picking. Donivan forces me to get my nails done, so that's another thing that helps a lot. So there's that video. There's definitely when we first got our cats, we had to take them to Georgia like a week after getting them. So we bought a whole bunch of cat stuff. So there's a video for that. It's just
really?
Yes.
But and we have all the other Philadelphia videos of us going out to the house. So I think we have about 3 Philadelphia videos of us going out. We have like 3 up online right now on YouTube, and then we have an additional 3 to edit and post. So we coming with that heat.
Yeah, and that's not including if I decide to make, because I make candles. Oh yeah, I don't even talk about that on the podcast.
We got the candle videos coming up. Like I said, we making a lot of videos. We moving. So I just want y'all to know, videos is coming. They gonna it's so many videos. We have to figure out how we gonna even schedule to post them. There's like, cause I'm like, damn, should we post a video every single day? Should we post 2 videos in a day? Because I'm like, y'all gonna get so much content. It's so much. I don't know if y'all ready for all of this. Y'all might not be ready. The Bamboo Project is back. Is getting its sea legs back under us because we've been doing a lot of wholesaling. We've been doing a lot of real estate. Started getting an appraisal license and me trying to get my real estate license. So it's been a lot. The Airbnb situation, a lot of things has kind of slowed us down from the YouTube videos. I don't
even think we said it on the podcast.
What?
Because I took my test on Wednesday, so
I feel like, oh no, we didn't. So then, what was the other thing? Back in the day when we first started doing YouTube, we was doing like 14 videos a month, 12 to 16 videos a month. Like we was pumping them out, 3 a week, 4 a week. Sometimes you might get 5 in a week. We was about that. All right, so it's in us. We just have to get some more free time to do it. So right now we're starting to get some more free time, and with this money coming in, I'm gonna give you a little shoulder shimmy. Y'all can't see it if you're listening, but y'all can see a little shoulder shimmy. That's how I feel right now. Last week I talked about, not just last week, but over the last couple of weeks, I've talked about being overweight. Right? I've talked about how I'm starting to look like Nicki Minaj a little bit. I think I would reference her. I think Bernice Burgos is somebody else I would reference. Maybe a Long Beach Griffey, another person. Put them up there on the list. I'm starting to resemble these folk, right? I'm starting to gain weight in places I shouldn't really be gaining weight at. You might think I got a BBL or something like that. Regardless, I've been gaining a lot of weight. I told you last week I almost died in my sleep because my stomach tried to kill me. There's a lot of things happening. So I also talked about last week, I actually did something to try and mitigate this risk. Okay. I decided last week that I was going to start running in the house. Not in the house. Let me bring that back. Running in the building. Right. Because as I talked to my cousin about today, my building charges $1,000 for the gym. Now you're probably going, oh my God, Donivan, your gym must be phenomenal. Like you probably have like bars in your gym. You probably have all the latest equipment in your gym. You probably have like trainers. Well, you would be wrong. I have none of those things. Okay. In our gym, we have 5 treadmills. We have about 4 or 5 machines to actually work on. Okay. And then you have some little bicycles. All right. And then let me not shit in the gym too much because they do have dumbbells. All right, look at us. Check us out. We got dumbbells and exercise balls for $1,000. And here's the kicker about all of that. Okay, you have to pay that first. It's not a monthly charge. You pay the $1,000 and then you get access to the gym for the whole entire year, which is ridiculous. So that's one of the reasons why we are moving to Atlanta. When we went to Atlanta, it said, we were asking them questions. They thought we was crazy. We was like, okay, oh, we have the gym. How much is that to use? They were like, what do you mean? I'm like, so what's the price to come into the gym? And she's like, I don't understand your question. I'm like, oh, okay. So she must be new, obviously, because she doesn't do this very often. I'm like, ma'am, who is the, I guess you call her the property manager or one of the people that works with them. She's like, I'm telling her. So back in New York, right, we have a building that we live in and they have amenities such as the rooftop and, they have things like a lounge and like a little yoga area. We want to use a printer. And they have this fee, the amenities fee. You got to pay $1,000. She was like, we don't have that. I'm like, so what do you guys call it here? You don't call it amenities fee? She's like, no, we don't have any fees. I'm like, what do you mean you don't have any fees? She's like, you just get, once you pay the rent, you can use it. I'm like, what you mean? What you mean by that? Like, I felt like Drewski. What you mean by that? Because I have never even heard of this in my life. So we go from paying $1,000, right, for our rent, for our amenities here, as opposed to in Atlanta, it's free and they actually have real equipment. They have real facilities. It's real stuff there. And compared to what we have here is garbage. So that's one of the main reasons why, I felt like I want to move to one up there. Some of the top 5 reasons. So I decided, you know what? I don't have $1,000 to spend on barely working out this bum ass gym. So I'm going to take initiative and I'm going to run the stairs. So we have 25 floors in our building plus the basement. So I decided I was going to run down the stairs from a 23rd floor, which is what we live on, and run to the basement. Then run across the basement to the other elevator, to the other staircase on the other side of the building. Then run up the stairs to the 25th floor. Then I'm going to run back down the stairs from the 25th floor back to the cellar, run back across the floor in the basement, run up the stairs to 25th floor again, and then come back down and run to the apartment. That's what I decided I was going to do, right? Melissa, this is her first time hearing this. She did not know this is what I was doing. So, as you can hear, she finds this to be funny. You think you want to add, babe, that you want to let the audience know?
Did you really do this?
Yes. Yes. That's what I did. Yes. Yes, that's what I did. Running around the building.
I mean, getting down the stairs is not hard. I'm more concerned about the going up.
You would think that, right? You think it's not hard until you run down the stairs.
I've done it before.
Yeah, but you've done it like, when you say you ran down the stairs, right? What do you mean you ran down the stairs? Like you tried to leave quickly, or you were like doing an exercise down the stairs?
I wasn't exercising.
Okay.
I was running for my life.
So it's a little bit different. So, when I was running down the stairs, I'm like, first of all, I was getting tired. That's number one. Cause I'm like, okay, I'm doing the chopping down the stairs. I'm like, okay, I'm going down the stairs, right? I think it's wild that I had to take breaks to go down the stairs. That's the crazy part.
I wish I was there. Why did you?
That's the crazy part.
You was doing?
So I took breaks going down the stairs. I was like, ooh, my calf's kind of burning. I'm like, ooh, my quad's a little tight. This is okay. I'm getting a little sweat. I had to take a little break. I'm like, all right, okay, keep going. You got this. I'm like, I got to the bottom, to the cellar. I'm like, oh, this is not even that bad. I'm like, okay, I could do this. Like, it wasn't that bad. So then I ran across the building to the other side, right? And I ran up the stairs. Now, I did not know what I had planned for myself. Like, I knew what I wanted to do, but I was not expecting it to be this hard, right? I'm like, I've done this before in my life. Like, I run upstairs, up and down. I was a basketball player, so we had to do it all the time. Actually, there was a time when I was in probably like like the 5th grade maybe, and they had us do the similar thing. But you had to do laps. Like I'm talking about you run up and down stairs laps like 10, 15 times. At Mount St. Michael, I had to do it. I had to do it at this school called Sousa, back where in the Bronx. So I was accustomed to doing this. None of them had 25 flights of stairs. That's number one. Here's the other thing. So I was prepared, right? I'm like, okay, here we go. I want to run up these stairs. I'm about to get this burn. I'm about to sweat. I'm getting fat. Here we go. Fam, I got up 3 flights. I was like, oh my God. I got 22 more flights to go. I said, oh my goodness. When I tell you, I was like, okay, Don, what you gonna do is you're gonna try and do 5 at a time. That ain't work. So I got to 4. I'm like, you're gonna do 4 at a time. I did like 4 in a row twice, right? And then when I say twice, I don't mean consecutively. I mean, I just did 4 in a row. After the first 4, I had to sit down because I thought I was gonna die. I was like on the stairs, hyperventilating. I had my hands on the wall, like, oh my God, I couldn't breathe. I thought I was gonna cry. I was telling myself like it's not worth it. I'm like, bro, it was so crazy. I'm like, this is so bad. I'm only on the 8th floor. I'm like, oh my God, this is crazy. I have another almost 15 more flights to go, and then I gotta do this again. I gotta run back down the stairs, run across the building, go up the stairs. Oh my God. I'm like, you're not gonna run up these stairs? I'm like, Donovan, you scared of the stairs? I'm like, come on, you wanna be fat? Come on, you wanna be rich? You wanna be a millionaire? You wanna be a billionaire? Come on, go up these stairs. So I'm like, all right, so I'm going, right? I'm feeling my eyes watering up. I'm like, okay, just keep going. Just close your eyes, keep going. I get up the stairs. I see somebody, right? Now, to this person, I probably look like a maniac because I'm sweating. My hair is coming out. My shirt is drenched. I'm hyperventilating. I probably look fat. I'm just running up the stairs and I'm just like, but here's the thing. I think hyperventilating would be an overstatement because to hyperventilate, you have to be able to breathe. I was not breathing. I was like, like you ever had, like, it's a pain in your chest where you can't breathe. It was like that. It was, if y'all ever play sports, you know what I'm talking about. It's like that burning sensation in your chest. It hurt, like somebody punched you. That's what it feels like. So that was what I was doing, right? Run up and down the stairs. So I got up the stairs, right? I was doing it like in groups of 4. I tried to get to like 6. And then after that, I was like, okay, just keep your eyes closed. Just keep your head down. Just run. Just keep going. Just keep going. Push yourself. Just keep going. Right? So I made it to the top floor. And I'm like, my goal or my plan was to run across the roof to the other side. That was my goal. But it was stunted by the fact that I had my key and I couldn't go out on the roof. So I'm on the floor, on the rooftop, right? Now I'm like, okay. I'm like, all right, you made it. Like, mind you, I'm on the roof on that level for probably like, I would probably say like 10 minutes, like 8 to 10 minutes. Now, if you are a runner or you are an athlete, that's a long break. That's a long break to be standing for 8 to 10 minutes. I'm standing there like, damn, I got to go back down 25 flights of stairs to the basement, run across. I'm like, all right. I'm like, you know what? I'm thinking to myself, it wasn't even that bad. I'm like, running down the stairs is the easy part because I've already did it once at this point and it's downstairs. It's not going to be as hard. Now, somebody probably is hearing this and might be busting out laughing. Somebody is. I'm pretty sure somebody is, right? The reason why you might be laughing is because if you've ever done a leg workout, then you know your legs don't work anymore after you go upstairs and do squats and lunges and things like that, right? So I'm like, okay, I'm going to just run back down these stairs real quick and I'm going to be good. I got from the 25th floor to like the landing before the 24th floor, and I almost fell down the stairs because my legs don't work no more. I'm like, oh no, this is crazy. I'm like, I can't run down the stairs. I'm gonna fall. Like, this is insane. Because you ever see those videos where people look like a baby deer and their legs be wobbling? That was me trying to walk down these stairs. So I'm like, run down the stairs. I'm like, it is not gonna work. Like, it's as much as I want it to work, as tough as I want to be, my legs are not working. So I'm like, okay, what I'm gonna do is I can either do nothing and just stay until they get better, or I can walk. I started walking down the stairs. I'm like, okay, I can walk. I got about maybe like 7, 8 flights. That started getting a little rough. I'm like, all right, we're gonna walk slower, right? So now I'm just walking down the stairs, when I feel my legs get a little better, I'm probably on maybe like the 10th floor or so, maybe, and maybe like 9th. And I decide, okay, they feel like you can move. If you can move your legs without, jiggling and whatnot, I should be good. So I started running down, or whatever you want to call it, sprinting down to the cellar. Ran across, and same thing again, up the stairs. And like I said, that shit is so, like, my chest was on fire going up those stairs. Like 50 flights of stairs up and down. Like, that's crazy. It's only once. I mean, I don't know if it's crazy. Maybe it's not, because I'm fat now. So maybe it's just crazy to me because I haven't worked out in a long time. But it felt crazy. My goal was to do it a couple times a week. I only did it once because after that day, my legs didn't work for like 4 days in a row. I just was in the bed. My legs was killing me. I tried using the fake Theragun we bought. It's like a version of Theragun, but it's not the Theragun. I think that fucked my legs up even more because my legs were in so much pain. But I don't know. I could have just been so sore that it didn't help me at all. So I said I'm taking initiative to try and be a little bit more healthy. After I chased my cat across the house in our studio apartment, and I ran out of breath, I decided it was time. And then almost died last week too. So those two things for me were like, okay, Donivan, you're getting to a point where you gotta do something. Like, you can't do nothing. Like, if you do nothing, you're only gonna keep getting worse. You're not gonna get better unless you fight back against the urge to do nothing. So I'm like, okay, let's try something. So I always look at it like this. Baby steps are still steps. So if I'm gonna take a step, even if it's, like I said, walking down the stairs, I'm gonna get to the bottom floor whether I'm walking or sprinting. The goal is to get to the bottom floor. Now maybe next week or next whatever, I can run down there, but I won't be able to run down there until I start walking. So that's how I looked at it. And I made it up and down the stairs. I felt good after. I had a nice little sweat, and I felt good, but my legs were definitely on fire. Now, the next piece of life update was Real Estate Express. I finally went to go and get my fingerprints done. As y'all know, this whole process is being ridiculous. I can't even become an agent because I have to. People probably don't know. Maybe your first time listening to this. I wanted to become a real estate agent in Philadelphia, but I have to get my criminal record to give to them. But I can't do that because I do not live in Philadelphia. So I have to get mine in New York. But in New York, it takes 3 to 4 weeks to get it. So I can't even apply for my test. And then once I get my criminal record, I have to submit it. And it takes 2 to 3 weeks to even get them to schedule my test. So we're talking about a month to 6 weeks before I can even schedule my test. It's fucking ridiculous. And funny enough, when I was there, this lady was kind of interesting. People be commenting on my ID, right? Where's my ID? I'm gonna show y'all my ID because I always say I look like a thug in my ID, right? I was probably like 19 years old. If you're listening, you probably won't be able to see it, but this is my ID, right? Should I block out anything? What's on here that's personal? I don't know if any of this matters. So here you go, right? That's my face. Now, I've been getting comments about it. Oh God, people say, why you not smiling? Why you don't, right? And I'm like, I'm trying to be cool. Back in the day, it was like everybody wanted to be a gangster. You want to be cool and smooth and suave. You don't smile at just like a little girl. Like, come on, what you doing? So I was like, like that, right? And I had like the fake mustache, so it kind of came down long, whatever. I looked like I was aggressive, and I had a little fade or the Caesar, whatever. So I'm at the fingerprint place, and a lady is taking a picture. So I smile. She's like, no, don't smile. I'm like, what you mean don't smile? Like, I'm not gonna take my mugshot in here. Like, it made me look crazy on my next picture. Like, you bugging. She's like, no, you can't smile. I'm like, miss, I'm gonna smile. Like, you're not gonna make me not smile. What are you talking about? She's like, you can't smile. I'm like, what do you mean I can't? I'm not about to have a repeat of my thug days on here. I'm about to have a picture of me smiling. What you want to do? Like, that's what we gonna do. She's like, no, it's against the rules for you to smile. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? So here's what I found out. And I talked about this last week, I think, too, when I was being an asshole to my the cops when they arrested me. I never knew this. The reason why, according to this woman, you're not supposed to smile, not allowed to smile in these pictures, is because you may be hiding marks on your face that they can use to identify you later. So they want your face to be as clean as possible, or as straight as possible, so they can identify marks or scars you might have. That's what she told me, right? So I'm like, I guess, whatever. So I made a less, I had a little smirk because, I'm still an asshole, but it was less of a smirk than it was before. So then as I'm talking to her, I'm like, look, the reason I smile is because I don't want it to be a mugshot. She was like, don't say that word. You don't even know what that means. I'm like now you just being annoying. Like, what are you talking about? So she's like, no, you shouldn't. The mugshot is not what you think of the mugshot, not what it actually means. I'm like, what? So actually, I want you to look this up. Can you Google mugshot? And what does it say for mugshot? What was the origination of the word mugshot? Because what she told me was the mugshot term actually was originated in jail. Like, it came from people who were in jail, not the people who run the jail, but the inmates came up with the term mugshot. So what I think is a mugshot is not actually a mugshot, according to her. She said I should read up on more history or something like that. She was a Caribbean lady, and I think it's always funny because foreigners usually know more about history and laws than people that live here, because they have to know that to get in here. But you ask somebody who the 8th president was that lives here for 55 years, they're gonna tell you George Washington. Like, it is what it is. Bro, I don't even, honestly, I could probably name you 7 presidents. I got George Washington, you got Lincoln, you got Obama, you got Biden, you got Trump, you got Bush, the other Bush, you got Reagan, JFK. Okay, I'm at 9. Okay, you got somebody named Hoover. I think that's 10.
It doesn't say that. It just says that mug means face. And it shows a picture.
Interesting.
I'm not sure.
Oh, see, now the president's on the bill. We got Andrew Jackson. Forgot about him. He's the president, right? Was he a president? Okay. So I'm saying, but I don't know. And there's 30 more that I haven't named. So I'm at like 11. And I could probably get to like 15, 20. And those are people that I just know the names of, but I don't know about them being president. Like, I think Teddy Roosevelt's probably president too, right? Yes?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 42 minutes.
Boom. So that's another president. So I don't know all of them. So, and then other thing too that I realized from foreigners, they also know the states. I can't name you all 50 states for sure. And I definitely can't tell you where they at. Maybe more now because I do real estate, but I definitely could not tell you that before, like, the last 2 years. So that is the...
yeah, because they get tested on it one day.
Right. I'm like, bro, I haven't been... Last time I tested on that, I was probably 16. They test me on what states we have. So that is the life update for my real estate exam. Now, y'all know, okay, I decided that I was going to do my real estate license because I wanted to do it in Philadelphia, get access to MLS, and then, go to Georgia and, make money. My beautiful, phenomenal, amazing girlfriend decided that she wanted to get her appraisal license. And y'all know, by October 31st, that was the last day that we had access to our courses. And Melissa decided that that month she was going to go hard. She was studying every day, right? She was taking tests. She was taking, and I say tests, I mean like the practice tests on the courses. Then she was taking tests week after week. So she's taking 2 tests in a week, going to Jersey by herself to take this test. She passed. Did you pass all 4 of those tests in October?
3. Yeah. Well, 1 late September and 3 in October.
Right? All of them done. So now Melissa has officially passed every course and all the official tests that they have for you to become an appraiser. So now Melissa can officially go and employ under an appraiser. So what do you have to say about your appraisal experience or your test taking experience?
That's one thing everybody told me. This too hard. This last month, it was kicking my ass. Mm-hmm. It's kicking. I think the worst test that I took was my second test.
Yeah, I remember that.
That was probably the worst one, and the last one only because I don't think I had enough time to actually absorb the information the way I wanted to. But how do I feel? I'm just so happy I did that. I don't think you understand. It's such a breath of fresh air because that was the thing I had to overcome to start doing my candles and editing videos and kind of just get to the next level for myself. So I'm just excited. They're coming out with this program because in order for me to get my license and everything, I have to find a supervisor. They're coming out with a program that may allow me to just avoid that in general and still get my certifications and become a licensed appraiser, like do it on my own without a supervisor. So if I waited out a little bit, I might be able to just do that instead of finding one. But either way, I have my credentials. Well, I don't have my credentials. I still have to file some paperwork. Yeah, I don't have my credentials. I still have to file some paperwork, but it's done. I have no more courses to take.
So that is finally it. So now, my sister and I were talking about if she can actually work as an appraiser under somebody in New York. We still don't know yet, because that would be great, because she can kind of get some extra money on the side. Right now, she got some more gigs doing the production assistant job. I think it's funny because y'all actually seen it. Every time I talk about it or think about it, the first time she applied for production assistant, there was a scam. Like, they tried to finesse her out of some money, and it's like now you definitely made more money with the production assistant than they tried to scam you out of. So it's like, all comes around full circle. As long as you keep going, you push yourself, you just keep going.
So cool. I worked for so far Paris Hilton, Grubhub, like a TV show, like
for Housewives about to be. They wanted you to work for them. I don't know if you. Yeah, Real Housewives of Atlanta. I think it's funny too that Real Housewives of Atlanta. There's a bunch of other housewives, but where we want to move to is the one that hit her up and say, "Hey, you wanna work with us?" You feel me? So that's interesting. So we're gonna see what happens with that. Stay tuned for the appraisal series that we have coming out whenever that drops. But that wraps it up for the life. Oh, one more thing for life update. I just wanted to touch on this. It's just the wholesale deal that we had that I was about to close on. I had two that I could have closed on, but one of them wanted too much money, so I just scrapped it. And then the other one, his wife got in the way on the deal. But I was like, the deal was like 85% done. Like, he wanted to sell. He was ready to sell. It was gonna be complicated though. I had to get him to buy another house with the money that he got from selling the house to me that I wholesaled to somebody else. And I was trying to get him to do a 1031 exchange, which means that once he sells the house and buys another house in a short amount of time, you can defer that tax, because once you sell the house, you have to pay taxes on that money unless you buy another house. So I was trying to do that, and everything was going well, but it was too many moving parts. And to be completely honest, I could still try to force it, but I'd rather not, because I honestly found that house by accident, because I was actually looking at a different house. And I put in the address I thought was the one I saw on Google Maps, but his house came up. So when I called him, I had to finesse, and he was like, "Okay, yeah, I'll sell it." But his wife was like, "No, we don't want to sell it." And then he was like, he kept calling me like, "Yeah, I would sell it," but then he would call me back later like, "Oh, my wife, blah blah blah." And her reason for not selling it, because she felt like the house I wanted him to buy was too much. It was like $1 million house. My whole thing was, you are not making any money on your house. His mortgage was $3,400 a month, and he was getting $1,800 a month times 2 for the duplex for that place. So it was just kind of like damn, bro, you're not making no money, because you got to take into expenses and everything else. So it would have been a good deal, a better deal for him, but his wife was scared of the $1 million price, and I'm pretty sure she doesn't know real estate, because it was a better deal. But here we are. My whole thing is, I'm not gonna force it, because I'm waiting for my bike to get fixed. I think that driving for dollars is better if I'm doing it on the street as opposed to virtually, because if I do it virtually, the houses they're not showing me accurate pictures of the house. So that could be from a year ago. I saw a house on there that was dilapidated and had a whole the grass growing up all high and stuff like that. I look on Zillow, the house is on sale. That means that somebody already renovated the house, bought the house, renovated it, and sold it. It wasn't for sale. They sold it already. And mind, if I go on Google, the old house is still there. I'm like, bro, come on. I can't be trying to compete, and I can't even see the house that's there. So the fact that I was able to actually get close to buying that house from the guy, I think that it'd be better for me to actually go around looking for houses that actually people want to sell. So we don't trust me. It's coming. I told you I'm gonna get a deal. Coming up on the last month of the year, last 2 months, we're gonna see what happens. But that's it for life update. So episode Playback. I realized that I have to write better notes for my topics. I'll write down one line and then forget why I brought it up. I think that definitely takes away from the podcast because I have a thought that I want to share, but I don't remember what the thought was or how I processed it when I had the thought. So let's say that I'll see something, I'm watching a video on, let's say I'm watching a Joe Rogan podcast, which I've been doing recently. I will write down the problem with society is social media, but then I won't actually write down the bullet points of why I thought that and my thought process as to how I got there. I just write that down. So that might be a whole week ago. I'll come back on the podcast and say it and be like, damn, I don't really remember why I was saying it, but I say that. So that's an issue. I'm trying to get better at doing that. I talked about how I think that the vaccinations, they're gonna start trying to find new people to blame for why everybody is sick. And I think I was reading this article. Can you scroll up for where this is from? Let's say The Morning. I don't know exactly who it's from. I think it's in there. It says experts say Britain seems to be making 3 main mistakes that are aggravating the pandemic, right? They are saying that the reason that the pandemic is spreading even more is because they did not recommend vaccinating 12 to 15 year olds. So now it's the 12 to 15 year olds that are spreading the pandemic in Europe, it seems like. And I'm just like, and they have other reasons, but that's number one. And I'm like, bro, y'all vaccinated damn near everybody, like 80%. Like, y'all really think the only people that are dying now is because of the vac? Like, we gonna blame 12 to 15 year olds? If all the adults are vaccinated, right, and the kids have it, who are they killing? The unvaccinated people? Like, who are we trying to protect from the 12 to 15 year olds? So now they're gonna demonize the 12 to 15 year olds, and it's like, damn, bro, these little kids won't get vaccinated. I can't believe them. They don't care about us, right? So I keep saying over and over again that goalpost is going to keep moving, and everybody that thinks that they're safe, you will not be safe. You think because you got the vaccine in March, you gonna be safe in June? No, they're gonna say, damn, everybody that got it in March is the reason we're dying. Get them vaccinated again. And you're gonna be like, damn, bro, you got vaccinated last week. Well, the rules changed again. You have to have a booster shot. You're gonna be fucked up. You're gonna be mad. That's all I'm saying. So I have this weird habit of speeding up certain words, and I think I do that when I pause for too long and I want to keep attention. So I will say a word really quickly to try and keep it together with the last thought. And it sounds really fucked up when I say it. Like, it doesn't come out right. Another issue with that is, which is why I personally think I might have some type of brain damage, it sometimes is hard to get the word out correctly. But that could also be because I'm not breathing or slowing down to say the word. Because I've noticed too, even in regular conversation, I will do that. But then if you ask me what I said, it comes out way smoother the second time. It's so crazy. I can say contradicted, and you're like, what did you say? And I'll say it again, and it'll sound like contradicted, and it sounds perfectly fine the second time. But when I try to do that the first time, it comes out all crazy. I don't know why that happens, but I think that it doesn't sound good when I listen back to the podcast. As much as I do not like to talk slow, I do think, I say this all the time, it sounds better when I talk slow. I have to get to a point where I can feel where that slowness is. I think this podcast is good. I think I was able to try and slow down, but because I think I was able to try and slow down, I probably am still going to think I was a little too fast. For me to feel or to sound like I'm talking at a good pace, I have to feel like I'm talking very slow. And that's normally when I'm like, okay, this is a normal pace. But my body starts to heat up when I do that. I don't know why. Like, I feel very uncomfortable. I feel like I'm going to start sweating. It's very weird. It's a chemical reaction. Another thing too, I think I speak too fast when I say things that I believe people will not agree with. And that is something else I feel like I need to work on. I need to say the whole entire thought, get it out. Because I know that when I talk to people in real life if I talk about something that I think that they don't like, they automatically check out. A lot of people don't have the ability to have a conversation that they do not agree with and listen and go, okay, I'm going to refute you based off the logical inconsistencies in your argument. No, they go, I'm emotionally affected by what you said. I can no longer hear you. I'm done. So because I know that from talking to people in real life, I know when I talk on here, I get that same feeling like, okay, I know this person is going to hear this thing that I said and go, oh my God, this is crazy. He's doing this. I can't hear this no more. And I try to say it really quickly so that they can still hear what my point is about what I'm talking about. And then one other thing I want to talk about was two more things. I try not to cite articles in what I speak about, right? So if I'm talking about vaccination rates, if I'm talking about why I think it's bad, or if I'm talking about anything related to statistics, I will try not to really cite articles because I know that I used to do this before. Like me and Hunter, we would go, we would have conversations about things and we would research things and we would always find an article to contradict whatever it is that we learned about. I remember I was talking to this lawyer at this time and we would have conversations. It'd be the same thing. Her argument would be, girls are, I would say that girls by nature try to annoy men. And she would say, okay, find me an article on that. I would pull one up and she would go, well, who wrote that article and how many people were in that study? And is that a credible person that wrote that article? Okay. Is there another article about it? And I would just go, bruh, now I'm over here looking up to see who was the person that wrote the article, what their background was, what school they went to, if that study is approved by different types of colleges and stuff. And I'm like, bro, I'm not going to do that because for me, it's not about the statistics necessarily. It's more so about logically. This doesn't make sense logically. Make it make sense to me logically, and then we can talk about the stats. That's how I look at it. And then if you can't break it down to me logically, then give out the stats. Because I know a lot of people will go, well, this is bad. And you go, why? And they'll just go, okay, this article right here said that 25% of people that drive cars die. And that's why it's bad. And then it's like, okay, I can go and find an article that says driving cars is safer than walking down the street, and we can go back and forth about this. So that's why I try not to use articles as much, because I feel like you can have a conversation logically without needing to have to involve the articles. You could bring that in later to go, okay, what you're saying makes sense, but is it true now? That's how I look at it. And they have a term for it. They have I don't know if it's a confirmation bias. It's not confirmation bias. Well, that's part of it. Confirmation bias is part of it, but they also have a fallacy where you appeal to authority. So you go, okay, because this person said X and they have a background in X, it must be true, which is a logical fallacy. Look it up. Now, the last thing I want to talk about with last week's podcast was shout out to my guy, Rico Paul. I appreciate you in the conversation we had in the comments. Now, the main thing I want to say to anybody that has any type of question about what I believe in or what I feel about this vaccination COVID situation, right? Because he asked me in the comments, he said, I don't know if he asked me directly or if he was alluding to it. I want to make sure I get it right. Yeah, we had a very lengthy discussion in the comments, and I actually appreciate the fact that we were able to talk without it becoming a attack on each other's character, because I don't like having conversations like that where it gets to a point where people just go, oh my God, you're evil. It's like, bro, it's like, come on. So I feel like at the end of it had some laughs. It was cool. I really appreciate that. I feel like a lot of times now people automatically, you have a conversation or a viewpoint where you disagree with somebody and it comes down to, I hate you because of this viewpoint. And it's like, bro, it don't have to be that deep. I just don't agree with you. I don't like what you said. In my opinion, I feel like if you can't disprove why you don't like it or explain why you don't like it, you might have some flaws in your argument yourself. So, and if you can't even have the conversation to explain why you don't like it, where if you're just so emotional you can't even converse, you have some real serious issues. Like, that's a huge problem. Like, I think that's a humongous problem. But what he said in the comments was, he asked me, would you want to be responsible for a 74-year-old lady passing away because you accidentally gave her COVID? He said, I know your answer is no. Here's how my approach to this, right? I want to make it very, very clear where my stance is on this so that there's no confusion with anybody who listens to this in the future or right now. My freedom is the most important thing amongst anything else. I don't care about nothing else. My freedom is the most important thing. And I think that everybody's freedom is the most important thing. If a 74-year-old woman told me that I should lose my freedom so that she can live, I would tell her go fuck herself. I don't care about none of that. My freedom comes first. And here's why I say that. With my freedom, right, I can choose to help somebody else. I can choose to go, okay, I'm going to move to another state so that you don't get hurt by whatever I'm doing. I can choose that, right? If I decide to give up my freedom, that means that I can't make decisions for myself, whether they're good or they're bad. I don't want to be in a situation where somebody else is deciding what I can and cannot do. I don't like that. For me, my freedom is the most important thing. Me personally, I know everybody don't feel like this, I would rather die than give up my freedom. Like, I don't know if y'all really believe it when I say it. It's the only thing I'm trying to think, what would I give up my freedom for? And by freedom, it could be the freedom of speech. It could be the freedom to move around. I'm thinking maybe family, and maybe for a small amount of time. I'm not going to do life for nobody. That's crazy. I'm not doing that. Maybe my kids. I'm thinking, I don't have kids, so I don't know how it feels, but I've heard that that's something. But giving up my freedom, and we're talking about jail in this situation. We're talking about, okay, I'm gonna do life in prison for somebody or for something. That's over here on the left, right? We're talking about regular freedom, like, oh, Donivan, you can't go to the store because you might accidentally kill somebody. I'm like, bro, you have the freedom as a 74-year-old woman. You have the freedom to make the decision on, should I go into this store where somebody, right, might get me sick. I took the vaccine. I feel like I'm safe by taking it. I should be able to go into this store. If I, Donivan Gray, decide I do not want the vaccine and I meet the 74-year-old woman, we have two choices, okay? She can say, you know what, Donivan, I want to go away from you because I don't want to get sick. I can go, you know what, miss, I don't know if I have it or not. I'm going to move away from you. That should be up to us to decide that. As two grown folk, two grown adult, we should have that choice to make that decision. I don't need somebody else telling me how to keep somebody else. I don't need you to do that. That's how I feel. So if for the argument people like to say, people love the argument of saying, Donivan or person, do you care about the old lady that might die? If I have to care about this old lady over my freedom, I don't care about her at all. If she's telling me I should give up my freedom for her, I could care less about her at all. I don't care. So I want to draw that line in sand right there so that nobody is confused about where I stand on that. My freedom comes first. Okay, there you go. Now, so I was having a conversation recently. I think it was with Melissa or somebody. I think it was Melissa. If you are moving in with a significant other, right? It's not your house, right? You don't pay the bills, but you move in with them. Can you ask them for space and say, hey, can you leave the house? Like, is that an appropriate thing to do? Can you do that? Because I was curious. Okay, I'm going to ask the question again. Do you think it's okay, or what should you do if you live in your significant other's house and you do not pay the bills and you want space in that house? How do you go about doing that? Okay, so one of the things I want to talk about in today's topics was Warren Buffett. In this, a year or two ago, if you listen to the podcast around this time, I was investing into the stock market, and I bought a bunch of airlines stuff, right? Because of Warren Buffett, for the most part, he owned a lot of airlines. Now, I found it to be very strange that he sold all of his positions in airlines. That means he sold all his stocks. The reason why I found that to be strange is because Warren Buffett is not known for selling off his entire position on a company. He will kind of keep some, maybe sell a little bit, but not much. He's really a buy and hold person. And I thought it was very odd. This is around Corona time. People were saying things like, oh, the reason why he sold the companies is because he thinks it'll be taken over by the government. And if the government takes it over, it won't be an actual profitable company. It will just be a necessity. And necessities aren't always that profitable. So he decided not to keep it or whatever, right? So this leads to the alternative theories in me, where I go, did he know something that nobody else knew? Because he obviously is top 5 richest people that we know about, right? He's up in the top 5, I believe. It's not one of the greatest investors of all time. He sold all of the stocks, right? Now, I was wondering, did he sell the stocks at that point because he wanted to make it look like he was he got out, or he got affected by it too? Because once he sold it, the stock market actually went down a little bit. So the price did dip. But if you think about the chaos that's happening over the last couple of months with the vaccine mandate and all the people that are canceling flights, they said that Southwest lost $75 million in a day or something crazy like that. It's like, damn, he got out really early. So what did he know? What did he see, or what research did he do that led him to see, okay, this industry is about to be super chaotic. Like, this is not going to be something I want to be in, because I'm pretty sure the main airlines that he held are the ones that are going through the most problems right now. Like, I think he had Delta, which is not, I haven't really heard much about it, but I'm pretty sure he was very high on Southwest and American Airlines. And those two are the ones that are doing like the craziestness right now. And I'm just curious how that went. Like I said, the alternative thoughts in me make me believe that there was something that he knew about what was going on. And for people who don't know, I always think that people know these things because I think they're common knowledge, but there was a meeting, right? People who don't know, this might sound crazy to y'all. There was a meeting that was had about what would happen if a coronavirus, which is a type of virus, if it spread across the country and where it might originate and what we would do if it were to happen. That meeting happened. It's public, I believe, still. I forgot the name of it. Do you know the name of it? Can you Google that? They were saying in that meeting what they would do and what the response would be if something like a coronavirus spread and where it would come from. A couple months later, that happens, right? They were just doing a test simulation and it happened. So people believe that they knew what was going to happen or they planned it, right? So if people are planning things like that, I believe it was tied to the Melinda and Bill Gates situation. It's called Event 201. That's what it's called. That's what it was called. And they pretty much predicted how this is supposed to happen. Now, funny enough, I'm looking at this website, right? And they're saying that that's not true. So I'm going to have to read this because...
Yeah, that's what I just found.
My mom sent me one of these articles about... They're called fact checkers. And this is by USA Today. And they're saying that it didn't happen or whatever. It's not true. What are you going to say?
I don't really like fact checkers because sometimes it'll just say like true or not true, but you also have to read why it's true or not true, because it'll say something like, I think I've seen it before, where it's like, oh yeah, John F. Kennedy didn't say that, Robert F. Kennedy said it. So it's like, it could be something that happened, or like it's not true because it was in the wrong place or it was in the wrong time, or like, so with that, it's always good to read why it's not true. Yeah,
so my mom has sent me something about the coronavirus situation where I had said that nobody's dying in their house, and she sent me a fact checker like this that said myth, people are not dying in their house from COVID, and then it said that 10,000 people are dying in their house or whatever from COVID. So I was like, well, I've never seen anything like this, so it does oppose my original thought. I am going to have to look more into this. So this same website is now saying that event 201 did not happen. Now, I've seen multiple people talk about this event. So I would have to read into this and see why they say it's a myth or it's not accurate or whatever. So I just think that's funny that it says that. But there's that. What I was saying was, if people are able to predict, with air quotes around that, what happened with COVID, then I would not be surprised if they said, okay, listen, the airlines are going to be the ones affected. We're going to affect it like this. So make sure you take your money out of it before you do it, whatever. And they said last year, or Warren Buffett has said, or they said about Warren Buffett, that he was upset that the government bailed out the airlines because he wanted to buy more of the airlines at a lower price because the stock was dropping so much. And then he decided to just sell off his entire position on all the stocks. In hindsight, it should look crazy now. Back then it looked smart, but now it's like, bro, so it went too low. It didn't go low enough for you to buy, so you sold everything? Okay. All right, bro. This is a statement I'll make. I think this one will be short. I'll add this topic to this one. I think that at some point they're going to have rules for advertising on your YouTube videos. I think, and what I mean by that is advertising your own product. People have to abide by certain marketing rules and certain marketing laws, but you can literally go on your website right now on YouTube and say, this product, it will make you skinny tomorrow. And nobody's going to bat an eye because you're not an actual business. You're not an actual company. You're not what's the word I'm looking for? You're not legit, right? People can sell a course to you and there's no repercussions for what that course does. People can say the course has helped millions of people and that could be totally false. And I'm wondering if at any point they'll make regulations for people who are actually selling a product of their own on YouTube or on Instagram or Facebook. Because I know with real estate, there's certain laws you have to follow. But I don't know if people are following those laws when you're doing wholesaling for your first time on Facebook. I don't know if people following the laws for putting up the phone number when you're selling a product. I don't know. The reason I was thinking about this is because I think that people are going to be negatively affected very badly by these gurus. And I think that there's no regulation on the gurus at all. They can say whatever they want about their product and people are going to buy it. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure we're in a guru era and people are losing a lot of money because of them. Like, people are losing a lot of money, and I don't think that right now there's any way to rein that in. So I'm very curious to see if at some point we do see some type of regulation with gurus marketing stuff on for their product online. So but that wraps it up for episode 85. We will be back here next Tuesday. You can find all the behind the scenes content on our social medias. Mine is Donivan Gray, DONIVANGRAY, and my phenomenal, beautiful, amazing girlfriend, Anita Byrne, ANETABURN. All right. You know what it is. Hashtag Bamboo Project 2021. We going up all year. You know the vibes. And with that being said, Bamboo Project out.